Hi, my name's Sydney, and today I'm going to be talking about Ratched. This highly anticipated Ryan Murphy series gives us the origin stories to the infamous Nurse Ratched from One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. This idea of TV shows picking up on origin stories of iconic villains has been creeping up a lot lately, kind of like with Castle Rock. They gave us the origin story to another infamous nurse, deranged nurse, Annie Wilkes. But unlike Castle Rock, I have more mixed feelings about the new show Ratched. This series premiered on September 18th, and I've actually only watched one episode so far, so my opinions could totally change from this, but this is what I feel so far. Per usual, with anything Ryan Murphy, the visuals are really stunning. We have this very hyper-stylized 1950s time period. The colors are really bold and electric, and it almost feels like candy or something. It really is a beautiful piece of art, cinematography-wise. As far as character development and plot-wise though, I really do feel disconnected. In only just one episode, we're introduced to more than 10 characters, and each of them have some sort of dramatic, intense moment or trauma happen to them, but we don't have enough context or story build for me to feel like I really care about what's happening to them. In just one episode, I felt those familiar traits of Nurse Ratched. She's very powerful, in control, strong, but I do feel like they tried to word vomit a bunch of origin character development stuff within the episode about her. I think this is something I'll have to set aside for now and see how they settle into the storyline as the show goes on. The acting is really strong on the show so far. It's a really great casting. I always love seeing Vincent D'Onofrio, Amanda Plummer. It was a really shock actually to see Cynthia Nixon from Sex and the City pop up in this, but she's doing great so far. She really blended into her role. That wasn't a distraction for me because that's how I identify her. I will definitely keep watching the show, but as it goes on, I just hope the flow of it feels a little bit less forced as it continues. At this point, I'm gonna go ahead and dive into a few spoilers, so if you don't want anything spoiled, thank you so much for watching, and that's it. So, if you already saw the show, here are a few points that really stuck out for me. I think the most impactful moment for me of episode 1 was the character arc of Mr. Salvatore and his ultimate fate. He was the character that felt the most real to me. I actually felt connected to him as opposed to the other characters. I think my biggest issue with this show so far is just that everyone kind of feels like a cartoon character. And it's not that the acting is that way, it's more so in the writing. Every character feels very one-dimensional. They don't have a lot of different sides to them so far. They really feel like they're there to serve a purpose. They are really like caricatures, and because of that, it really just doesn't make the show believable for me. Also, I really do want to root for Nurse Ratched as a villain. She's such a great villain, but so far her character is just kind of BS. She comes across as this strong, in control, manipulative woman, but then she does have these really nice, fragile, soft sides to her of context that come out when she reveals moments from her past. Particularly though, going back to Mr. Salvatore, she has this moment where she reveals this very tragic, traumatic childhood past, and she says she wishes someone would have told her she was never going to see her family again, so she would not have a painful sense of false hope. She's essentially telling him to give up, but simultaneously at the end we learn that this whole entire episode and goal of manipulation for her was to end up at this specific hospital to reunite with her brother. So was she being manipulative to Mr. Salvatore with this sob story purely for him to kill himself for really no reason at all? That it didn't really, there was no motive. There was no motive for her to do that particularly, other than just like, oh, I'm gonna kill someone because I'm evil. Or was she being genuine in her statement, saying that I really wish someone would have told me that, but then she's being a complete hypocrite because she has this sense of hope of reconnecting with her brother? I guess there is something very unclear about her intentions in this moment to me. Lastly, I get that this show is very hyper stylized, very extreme visually in its colors, in its design, in its wardrobe. It's very particular. But this hospital is just really not believable to me. It's really kind of taking me out of the setting. It's actually kind of taking me back to American Horror Story Hotel. It's not a hospital. It looks like a glamorous hotel. I get that some reasoning might be that Dr. Hanover Hanover is trying to not run it like a loony bin, but it's just not believable so far as a hospital to me. Like that lobby, come on, come on. I think what's difficult too is that I really have this strong comparison in my brain that I need to get past of the amazing One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest from 1975 as a comparison. What makes Nurse Ratched such a strong villain in the book and film from 1975 is that she feels so real. She doesn't feel like a cartoon. She feels like the consequences of giving someone power who thrives on creating a joyless existence for her patients.
You know, Billy, what worries me is how your mother's going to take this.
And it's scary because people like her do exist and they ruin real lives. I am gonna stick with this show. I wanna push forward, see if it surprises me. I really do think it has the potential to do that, but so far I'm kind of just like, meh. Ratched is streaming on Netflix and is available now. If you liked this video, you can subscribe or like it or do something or just go on with your day. I don't know. Okay.